Breaking news, the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is officially blown up. There's going to be all kinds of change. They decided to release Mitchell Schwartz. You heard me talk about it here on the channel that I didn't think that the optimism about his back surgery was really warranted and that I was disappointed that they didn't seem to have a plan going forward. Well, evidently they had a plan. The thing that surprises me about the news today is that they decided to release Fisher as well. You guys heard me say a couple weeks ago when Brett Veach was very optimistic about both of them getting back and being available for the 2021 season that I had doubts. I told you I didn't see any way that an Achilles tear that late in the season for Eric Fisher would allow him to play anytime before mid-season of 2021. And clearly that's what they've arrived at as well. So Brett Veach found what that information was. I think he gave as much time as he possibly could to those guys to see if they could have a realistic goal of returning in 2021. It didn't happen. And when he made that realization, it was time to flip the switch and make that change. Now, these guys have put in a lot of reps with the Kansas City Chiefs and got them to that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl doesn't happen without those two tackles, period. So it's a difficult pill to swallow, I'm sure, not just for the players, but for the team as well. It is definitely marking the change that is going to come all along the offensive line and, quite frankly, for the whole franchise now. It does jettison some contract that is tied up in older players. I talked to you last preseason, that there's a time that they were approaching with both these tackles that they were going to have to make that change, and they were either going to prepare and build up behind them, like we saw Patrick come in behind Alex Smith, or they were going to get to a point where they were just going to fall off a cliff and they're going to have to do this kind of maneuver. I honestly didn't think this is the way that it was going to go, but that's what's come to pass. I think the development of Niang being delayed a season when they invested in him and thought that he might be the guy that could grow underneath Schwartz and become that replacement. Without that development time in 2020, I think that put the impetus on here that they have to get him going. Hopefully that they've been in contact with him. They've seen him. Don't know if he's come back to the facility yet or been any contact whatsoever, but they have to have a good feeling about him in particular. And that also means that there's a lot left to do across this line. There could be a move coming for the left tackle spot that doesn't necessarily mean a draft pick. I think that will happen as well. But I think it feels like this particular move with Eric Fisher becomes more immediate. It feels like you have to have an immediate plan for a starting position, not who you might be able to draft in the draft, who you might be able to see develop into a starter. Like, it feels like there has to be a plan already in place. So look for another announcement here in the next week or two, either in free agency's first-ish wave, back end of the first wave, or maybe they have a deal with someone on the table. I'm not sure. The bigger thing is that these guys are the pillars. They are what this offensive line is built on, and quite frankly, what the offense is built on. Without the two ends, you're looking at a complete change. Not to mention the fact that you've lost everyone else from both the Super Bowls. The only guy left from the two Super Bowl offensive lines is Nick Allegretti. That's it. I told you guys a couple days ago, I think he could move over to center. And Allegretti at center allows you to expand. Now, we know that they have Niang and LDT supposedly coming back from their opt-outs. I think both of those guys can still fit, certainly Niang, and so really it becomes about the left tackle and how you fill in those guards and what type of guards. Depending on the shape that LDT is in, if he's actually able to return and play it at close to his previous level, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to stay inside-outside zone focused. They could get a little more man-power gap kind of blocking scheme going. Maybe that's what this is about as well, because it would allow you, whether Kelechi Osemele is able to play again or not, we don't know any of that, but it allows you to have more variability in the players that you bring in or draft that have more of a downhill-oriented run attack. And that is something that we expect to see from them more and more as we go forward. So there could be 4 or 5 new starters on that offensive line, and if they expect to see more light boxes, they're going to take advantage of it. This could be the beginning of a complete change of what the philosophy is up front in order to be able to be more adaptable to what defenses give you. I hope that that's the case. I would like to see that. But we have a lot more to get into. We'll have more fallout. This will definitely change the live mock draft that's happening tonight here on the channel, and we'll have more for you as we move forward. But that's the news this morning. I'm going to finish my coffee. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.